This is everything I made in 2024. Last year, I crocheted, I knitted, and I sewed, so let's take a look back at everything I made in 2024. This is only the second time I've made an everything I made last year kind of video, and once again, I'm posting it much later than everybody else does, but what can I say? ADHD. But I still hope that you'll enjoy taking this little look back at everything I made last year. I think it's kind of nice to actually take a moment to have a look back at everything I've achieved last year, because a lot of these projects I'd actually totally forgotten about, and I'm actually kind of surprised about how much I was able to make last year. So I actually decided to make things a little easier for myself last year, the year before, back when I made my everything I made in 2023 video, by tracking my projects properly in an app. I've been using Capacities. I might go into detail about how I've been using that another time, but the way I had set it up made it so much easier for me to find when I had started or finished a project, helped me keep track of the size of hook I was using, and a bunch of other fields that I customized myself. I will leave an affiliate link in the description below if you want to check out Capacities. It is completely free to use all the features I've been using, but there is also a paid version. Basically, I've set it up to keep track of my crochet projects mostly, but also a couple of knitting and some sewing projects too. With the sewing projects, the only thing is I'm not going to include anything that I make for my shop, which, if you didn't know, I actually make these headbands that I sell in my Etsy. I will leave a little link down below if you're interested in looking at those. But to keep things interesting, I'm not going to include all the headbands I made last year because it was probably like over 100. But even without including the headbands, I have 25 pieces. I don't have all of them here because some of them were gifts, so obviously I've given them to other people. But 25 projects is a big increase on last year. I had to go back and check the video I made last year to see how many projects I had finished, and there was only 11, which seemed like a decent amount at the time, but I've more than doubled that this year, so I'm very proud of myself. And the other thing is, in the video from last year, there were a handful of projects. I was showing a lot of my whips because I think I had more whips than finished pieces, and I can actually say this year that I have completed some of them. Not all of them, but I have some whips from my last video that are actually finished for this video. So yeah, I'm super happy with what I've achieved this year. It also makes me excited for the year ahead to see how many projects I have next time I do one of these videos, which hopefully next year I put out a little earlier than this one. But anyway, by the way, if you haven't watched my everything I made in 2023 video, I will link that as well, because there are, I think, 17 patterns linked in it, and most of them are free. I can't remember how many are free, but there was a lot of free patterns. I will also make sure I link any patterns that I've used for this video down below as well. This year, once again, I'll be breaking everything down into categories, but I've actually split the clothing accessories category because I made mostly those things this year. So in order of what I made the least to the most, it goes home decor, including blankets, toys and amigurumi, clothing, and accessories. Last year, it was all about amigurumi for me. I made lots of toys. This year, I still made a handful of toys, but I actually made a lot more clothing and accessories, which was in line with my desire to actually make more things that I could wear, because I felt like everybody knew I could crochet, but I was never wearing it, you know, like never getting to show off my pieces, which I really wanted to do more of this year. So let's take a look. Firstly, we'll start with home decor and blankets. So this is one of the plant hangers. I've started making a lot of plant hangers. These are a really quick project, you know, whip up if I don't have a lot of time. I've started making all different kinds of these, and then I also put a cute little bead on this one too. So I have this one, this cute little hot pink one. I also have a mustard one, which I don't have in here, but there's a photo here. And then lastly, in this category, I only had one blanket that I made last year, which is kind of weird. It was a baby blanket I made for my cousin's boy. I really loved making this blanket because I felt like I was a bit more adventurous with the colors, and I actually chose the colors based on a dress that my cousin had worn to Christmas. So I felt like that was a really cute detail. I did pay for a pattern, or I got it with a hobby subscription, but I will link where I got that from below in case you'd like to purchase it for yourself. Okay, the next category, I don't have any of these physically here with me because they were all gifts, but I made a few toys. First of all was the bunny that I know I included in my whips last year, and I actually did finish it. This cute little bunny had these little accessories. It had a skirt, it had a little flower for her hair, for her ear, and she sits because of the way the pattern's designed and the little legs hold it up. So really adorable little amigurumi toy there. Next, last year was the first time I kind of ventured into using those plush yarns because they started selling them at Aldi for like $2 a ball. So I bought a bunch of them and made a couple of toys. So I had a couple of friends who we visited for either like first birthdays or newborns, things like that. For one of my friends, I made her son this little ducky, which was so cute, but I was running out of time. and I didn't get to do the wings. It turned out super cute anyway, and apparently her boy doesn't normally like stuffed toys but absolutely love this duck, so that made me very happy. Next, with the Aldi yarn as well, I made this shark. We have a lot of Cronulla Shark supporters in our friend group, and so this shark went to the son of some of Curtis's mates who obviously love the sharks. But it turned out really cute too, and kind of anatomically correct for a shark, I think. Next up was the play pasta that I made for my niece. I just found a few different patterns for different styles of pasta, you know, like there was spaghetti, penne, farfalle, oh, the spirals. I don't know what their proper name is. Wanted to make just like different kinds of pasta and then make like a sauce, just like a flat pattern that can be like stuck on top. I don't have photos of all the things I made, but I made like little mushrooms, little leaves that were like basil, a red sauce, a white sauce, and the different kinds of pasta. I thought the idea was really cute. I feel like I rushed it at the end. I would have liked to have made more sauces and stuff, but sometimes I bite off more than I could chew. I ended up putting the sauces and the pastas in like little jars and giving them to my niece like that. I'm hoping she still has them somewhere. She's probably lost all the bits and that's fine, but I had fun making them. Next, I have two toys that I made for another friend's new little baby boy. I made her a wombat. It had a little upside down pouch, and I used a wool for the body and then cotton for the little like paws and the nose. And after I made the wool part, I brushed it out and it kind of looked like it was really fuzzy like a wombat. So that was really cute. And then the other thing I made for him was one of those, like, I don't know what you call them, but it was like a blanket that they can suck on. So like a little comfort toy, and it had a little teddy bear on it as well. So those were all the toys I made this year. Now let's talk about clothing, and then we're gonna look at accessories. So I actually do have most of the clothing here. I'm pretty sure I have all of it. So let's have a look. First of all, I have this cute little black mesh top that I started making when we were at a concert. When we were having pre-drinks before the concert, I was making this. I thought maybe I'll be able to finish it and wear it tonight. That didn't happen, but I did keep it in a backpack and worked on it while we were waiting for a train. Ended up finishing it a couple of days later, and then I was able to wear it to a Simple Plan concert that my sister and I went to, and got to live out my teenage emo dreams that night wearing this. This looks really cute over colors, but it also looks cute over black, like how I wore it to Simple Plan. I kind of just made this pattern up from scratch as well. It is like a raglan style, but it's mesh. So if you know how to make mesh, it's pretty easy to figure it out. I am considering writing this up as a pattern though, so if you'd be interested in that, let me know. Or maybe I could even make a video tutorial. It's also covered in fur. I'm not sure if you can see that, but anyway, super happy with this. Next is the piece that I've gotten the most wear out of all of the things I made last year, and that is this rainbow hexagon cardigan. This is the first time I've made a hexagon cardigan, and I'm super happy with it. I've honestly worn this so many times last year, and I feel like I've gotten heaps of compliments on it too, just because of the colors alone. I think like it brightens up everything. I actually used two different colorways of the Lion brand landscapes yarn, I think, for this, and that has meant it's ended up with like so many different beautiful colors. It is looking a bit fluffy, like it's going to pill. It is acrylic. I don't really care. I still love it. And people don't usually notice that because they're just too mesmerized by all the colors in it. I can't remember if I used a pattern or just like a general guide on making hexagon cardigans. So if I can find what I used, I will link that below. Next, I haven't got heaps of wear out of this one, but this is the Lilith top by Bejax. The only thing I don't like about this is I've made the straps, I think, too thin. Like there's many ways to make straps. I think I should go back and make them a bit thicker so that there's a bit more support. But this top is so cute. The pattern is really easy to follow. I'm going to link this below. This was a video, so it's like a free pattern if you follow the video tutorial. I made this in the Freedom Cotton yarns from Spotlight. I think this one's pretty cute. And this is one of the first tops I've made for myself that I've actually worn. So very happy with that one too. It just pulls over. So it's like totally crocheted all the way around, but then it has this beautiful like lace pattern, which I think is really cool. Okay, next. This is a bit of a weird one because I had so much fun making this, but I haven't really had the opportunity to wear it anywhere. This is a top that I made from an 80s crochet pattern. It was actually supposed to be a tunic, so it had a skirt with it as well, but I knew I probably was going to wear it a lot more if it was just a top and I kind of paired it with a different skirt, like a fabric skirt. I made it with acrylic yarns that I just already had. I have a bit of a stash that I'm trying to work through, and I wanted to have a bit of fun with the colors I was using. So I feel like it's really cool, but I just haven't figured out the right outfit for it yet. I did style it with one of my like floofy purple dresses, like it had a big skirt with it. It had like puff sleeves as well. That would look cool even as like a Ren Fair outfit, but I've never been to Ren Fair and I don't know if I will ever. I thought that the pattern itself was really cool, even just this like motif in the middle. It kind of looks like an eye, even though it was an 80s pattern. For some reason, maybe it's the colors I've used, it gave me like 60s vibes. But the reason I liked doing this so much was because I was looking through Internet Archive, the crochet books from like the 80s, 70s even, and just seeing what I could find and what I could be inspired by and having a go. So yeah, but something a bit different. And I also ended up changing the way the sides do up, so that kind of looks like it's tied, but it is crocheted like that. But yeah, a top that I definitely want to try and get a bit more wear out of. But even though it looks like it's shaped like a summer top, it's gonna have to be a winter top for me because it is so thick. So I think I'll have to wear it over something. Okay, so the next piece I have, I'm actually going to be putting out a video soon about all the things I made for the snow trip we went on last year, because there ended up being a few. This is one of my only knit pieces from last year, and it is this cable knit vest, which I love, and I did get to wear it a couple of times. I actually finished it on our snow trip. But I love these designs and how it's like a really big cable. As one of my first and only completed knit projects on this scale, I'm actually really proud of it. I feel like I've done a good job. The only thing I'll say is it definitely smells like sheep. It smells like sheep. I don't know how I will go about washing this, but it's made from like roving yarn. I think that's what it's called. So obviously it's like really bulky, but it doesn't have like a twist to it, so it's like a single ply, I suppose. I'm gonna link this pattern. I did pay for this pattern, but I would recommend it to anybody. A very, I'm not gonna say easy. If you already know how to cable knit, it's easy. If you're just getting started, it's maybe a bit more intermediate, but a quick project anyway, because you use such thick yarn. I couldn't resist trying out this purple yarn that I found at Spotlight, and I actually got on sale, 40% off, and then I was a really good girl and returned the yarn that I didn't use at the end of this project. And yes, that means I made this project within the return period for Spotlight, which I'm also super proud of. I've never done that before. I think that means I made it in like 30 days from purchasing the yarn. Very proud of myself for that. We're almost at the end of the clothing. I have this Sentro sweater that I made that I did make a video for, so if you haven't seen that already, I will link that below. I kind of just made this up as I went, and then I crocheted the pieces together. I think I did a flat panel and a flat panel on the back, and then the arms were tubes, and then I crocheted all the seams. So I love the look of this. The only thing is, because it's like a loose knit, it does catch on things, and I have 3 cats and a dog, so that makes things a bit tricky. Even seeing it on camera now, I really like the colors in it, and obviously like it's summer here, so I haven't really had a chance to wear it at this time of year, but I think this is something I will pull out again when it starts cooling down. The last thing I have in the clothing category is actually something I sewed, but I have not taken any photos wearing them yet because I haven't figured out how to style them properly. But these are like culottes, I guess. So I'm pretty sure this was a free sewing pattern, but that might be because I have a Peppermint subscription. I can't remember if this was free or not. Regardless, I will link the pattern below. But I found this adorable fabric at Spotlight, of course, and it was giving me Gorman vibes, and I love my Gorman clothes. I love the prints and the colors. So I wanted to have a go at making something like that myself, and I'm not 100% happy with some of my work on this one, like seaming the waistband. I always have trouble with waistbands and getting it to line up. And with fabric like this is rayon. And if you're sewing on a curve, you know, it like stretches out of shape and stuff. But I had a red hot crack at it, and I think they look super cute. I just have to figure out how to wear them. So they've got this elastic at the back as well, very comfy. And the waistband at the front is like a bit shaped here. So it looks like a skirt when I wear them, but it's actually like culottes. So that was all the clothing. Now we're going to finish off with the accessories. Some of these were for me, some of them were actually for Curtis. So, oh, there is one that I don't have here with me that was a gift for my sister, and that was this bucket hat. I kind of made this up as I went. I'm not 100% happy with how it turned out, but she likes it, so that's all that matters. Next, last year I spent a lot of time watching Passionate Kelsey's vlogs, and I ended up getting inspired by her to make the scrunchies and the bags that I know that she makes a lot of. So the pattern for the scrunchies is hers, so I will link that as well. I think there's a video for how to do this. So I made one of her scrunchies, and I actually used the Aldi yarn again for this. And this is the market bag that I made. I had a bunch of this yarn, I think it's Brighton, I think the shade is Blueberry. I had tried to make clothes with it, and then I just didn't like the way it looked for clothes, so this was a great way to use it, and I use this shopping bag weekly. Kelsey uses somebody else's pattern for this, and it was a video, so I was able to find that and just follow along. And these bags, I'm pretty sure I made the large size, but they fit so much in them because obviously like it's mesh and it expands. So sometimes I fill it up too much and these poor straps get strained, but they're really strong. Like this is cotton, so it should last a while. I'm thinking of making a few more. If I do a bigger shop, I need more. So I think I might make some more. So yes, this was my inspired by Passionate Kelsey little duo. Next, I have two more things that go together, and that is some things I made on my Sentro again. Something about the things that have come off the Sentro over time look like they've warped a little bit, and I don't know if it's because it's wool and it's like felting together a bit, or if it's because maybe the yarn size I used wasn't big enough for the Sentro and it's a bit loose or something, but Curtis still wears these. So I made these for Curtis, I think for his birthday last year. Again, shark supporter. This is a hat with a shark fin on it. Got a lot of comments when he wore this to a game. Yeah, so shark's colors, shark's little fin for a Sharkies supporter. And I also made him this, and this was another thing I made for our snow trip. So he actually asked for a neck warmer. I made this on the Sentro as well. It does look a little bit wonky now. It didn't when I first made it, like I blocked it and everything and it looked good, but I might need to block it again. Maybe it's just been well worn, and also some of the little ends are sticking out, so I need to improve my finishing techniques clearly. It's reversible, so you can have the dark, like away colors. He wore that a lot when we were at the snow too. Speaking of our snow trip, I think this is the last thing I have from our snow trip, and that is this scarf that I made for myself. This might be my favorite piece I've ever made for myself, although I haven't had that many chances to wear it yet. It's very hot where I live, but we obviously went to the snow and I was able to use it for that. Beautiful, beautiful pattern. I actually saw, before I saw the scarf pattern, I saw the bed cover. It's the same idea, but just like way bigger to cover a bed. I wanted to use wool for this because I wanted it to actually be warm for the snow. I ended up using a lot of like leftover yarn that I had from different projects, or just yarn that I'd purchased with no actual plan to use it. So you can see this pink was from when I did my major collection at fashion college. This blue is from that as well. Oh, this color here as well is actually from when I was in fashion school. So using up yarn that I was kind of attached to, didn't want to waste it on a project I didn't like, but also didn't have enough of it to do anything major. So I just love how this turned out. There's so many colors, and the great thing about it was I was easy to spot. So when I would fall when I was skiing, Curtis could find me. Absolutely love this scarf, and it's really long too. You can kind of customize obviously like how long you want it, but yeah, I love this. I had a lot of fun making it. Great pattern, beautiful pattern. The next thing I had in the accessories category was another thing I don't actually have here with me today, but it was these bed socks that I made for one of my sisters. I hadn't made a pair of socks before, at least I hadn't finished any, and this pattern was really good because obviously using a thicker yarn, they're a lot quicker to make, and I used the Aldi plush yarn again. So they turned out cute. I think they were a little tight at the top, so hopefully she got to wear them. Next, I have the pockets that I made, which I do have a video for. I will link that as well. But I made these crochet pockets. I actually designed the pattern and then hand sewed them onto a skirt that I had, which desperately needed pockets on the back. I don't know why it didn't already have them. Now I wear that skirt more than I used to because now I can put my phone in my pocket. I was super happy with this pattern because I figured it out on my own. It's one of the first patterns I've gone through the process of actually writing out so that other people can make these as well. You can actually download that pattern for free from my website, so I will also put a link down below for that. And the last thing I have under accessories is actually this yoga mat strap, which I have made a video for but haven't posted it yet. So I'm going to be posting this a bit later this year. I did actually finish this last year, but yeah, it's just like mini granny squares, and I don't have the yoga mat with me right now, but you'll see when that video comes out how it works and also how to make it if you're interested in making one for yourself. But yeah, this is a really cute accessory, and I feel like I could use the same idea to make like a little belt or like a bag strap or something like that. Okay, that was everything I made in 2024. I've tried to not ramble on about everything like I normally do, but if you do want any more information about any of the pieces you've seen in this video, just leave me a comment. I'm going to leave all the information I can down below, but like I said, if there's anything else you want to know, just ask. Now, I'm not going to go over my whips in this video like I did last time because I feel like that needs to be its own whole video. I do have a goal this year to try and actually finish a lot of the things that I've started instead of adding to that whip pile because it's getting out of hand. I'd love to hear how many projects you completed last year, and please let me know what you're working on right now. I always love hearing from you guys. That's it for now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!